Before we get into today's video, I want to address something quickly. I know it's been a few weeks since the last upload, and I genuinely want to apologize for that. I was involved in an accident that forced me to step away unexpectedly. It wasn't planned, and it wasn't something I wanted. But I didn't want to rush back and put out a video that didn't meet the standard this channel is built on. I'm good now. I'm back. And FrameNFury isn't going anywhere. So thank you to everyone who stayed subscribed, who clicked on this video, and who continues to support the channel. That means more than you probably realize. Now, let's talk Stranger Things. Why the finale is so important. With only one episode left before Stranger Things ends forever, expectations are at an all-time high, and honestly, so is anxiety. Season 5. Volume 2 didn't quite live up to what Volume 1 promised. It wasn't bad, but it felt restrained. Like the show is holding something back. And when you're staring down the final chapter of a story that's been building for nearly a decade, restraint can feel dangerous. The finale is essentially a feature-length movie. And with that comes pressure to wrap up character arcs, resolve the mythology, and deliver something emotionally satisfying without feeling rushed or hollow. So today, I want to break down what I believe will happen in the final episode, what needs to happen for the story to feel complete, and why I think the ending is going to circle all the way back to where this show began. This is Stranger Things, Season 5, Volume 3, Ending Theories Explained. And yes, spoilers for everything so far. The true final villain, the Mind Flayer. Let's start with the biggest theory, and in my opinion, the most important one. The Mind Flayer is returning. Vecna has positioned himself as the main antagonist of the later seasons, but I don't believe he was ever meant to be the final villain. He's powerful, yes, but more importantly, he's controlled. The show has gone out of its way to tell us that the Mind Flayer is ancient, older than Hawkins, older than the Upside Down as we understand it. It's not just a monster, it's an intelligence, a force. And based on the first Shadow Stage play, we now know something crucial. Henry Creel didn't create the darkness. He was infected by it. When Henry entered the Abyss, he encountered the Mind Flayer, and that entity placed the darkness inside him. When Henry returned, he wasn't the same person anymore. That reframes everything we know about Vecna, his desire to merge worlds, his obsession with control, his belief that humanity is flawed and broken. Those ideas may not have originated with Henry at all. Operation Beanstalk and Vecna's death. I believe Operation Beanstalk will succeed. The group will enter the Abyss, not the Upside Down, but the origin point itself. And there, they will confront Vecna one final time. But here's the key detail. Vecna is weaker than he's ever been. We saw it in Volume 2. Will was able to tap into his mind. Vecna's physical form was damaged. His control isn't absolute anymore. That's intentional. Vecna will be killed. The group will believe they've won. And that is when everything flips, because killing Vecna doesn't end the darkness, it frees it. The Mind Flayer will finally reveal itself, not as a distant presence, but as the true architect behind everything that's happened since Season 1. They've never been to the Abyss before. They've never been to the Mind Flayer's home. And once they are, they're playing on its terms. This is how the show reconnects directly back to its roots. Back to the fear of the unknown. Back to the horror of something vast, intelligent, and incomprehensible. 11 Will and the cost of power. Defeating the Mind Flayer isn't going to come down to brute force. This is where 11 and Will become central again. Will was the first victim, the first survivor, the first connection. He saw the Mind Flayer long before anyone understood what it was. And the question now is whether Will's connection is a weakness or a weapon. Can Will tap into the darkness without being consumed by it? At the same time, 11 has always been pushed to her limits when it mattered most, but this is different. This isn't just another monster. This is the source, the origin. Whatever happens in the Abyss will demand more from 11 than ever before, emotionally, physically, and morally. And I do believe this is where the show forces a real sacrifice. Callie's betrayal. Callie's return never sat right with me. From the moment she reappeared, her role felt off, like she wasn't there to help, but to provoke. Kaylee believes something fundamentally different from 11. She believes that as long as people like 11 exist, the cycle never ends. Scientists will always want power. They'll always want to recreate what Brenner started. So in Collie's mind, the solution isn't to destroy the Upside Down, it's to erase the source, no numbers, no experiments, no future monsters. She frames this as a noble sacrifice, like claiming she'll die too if necessary. But I don't believe that's true. Like, Collie was captured, tortured, broken, and she was never rescued. 11 escaped, and Collie paid the price. That kind of abandonment leaves scars. I believe Collie will betray 11 in the abyss, forcing her into an impossible choice. And this is where Hopper comes in. Hopper's fate. Hopper hasn't had the same narrative focus this season, and that's never accidental. He's finally become the father figure 11 needed. He represents grounding, humanity, home, which makes him the perfect target. I believe Collie either kills Hopper or wounds him badly enough that 11 believes she's lost him. And that moment is what pushes 11 over the edge. If 11 kills Kaylee, it won't be out of anger alone, but out of grief. And that choice will haunt her forever. The cave flashback and Henry Creel. We still haven't seen the full cave flashback. Henry entering Dimension X. The technology. The moment everything changed. I believe the finale finally shows us that moment in full. We'll also return to 1959, to Patty, to the version of Henry that still had humanity. Because Henry Creel is a warning? He's what Will could have become if the darkness was left unchecked. Vecna wasn't born evil. He was shaped. And showing that doesn't redeem him. It contextualizes him, who dies and how it ends. I don't believe the show kills off the core kids. It never has, and it won't start now. Vecna will die. The Mind Flayer will be destroyed. Collie will likely be killed by 11. Hopper is the biggest question mark. And in the end, the Upside Down will be destroyed. The Abyss will be sealed. Hawkins will finally be free. Stranger Things has always balanced darkness with hope. And while the ending won't be clean, I don't believe it will be hopeless. So those are my full theories for the final episode of Stranger Things. Not every detail, but the core events I believe need to happen for the show to end in a way that feels earned, terrifying, and emotionally complete. With only days to go, all we can do now is hope the finale reminds us why this show became special in the first place. If you enjoyed this breakdown, check out the Stranger Things playlist on the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. How do you think the show will end? Let me know your theories in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.